Good morning. Thanks for joining us for the News 12 FastCast. I'm Nick Proto. Next to Beacon Bluff, the former MedAct building is now able to help more people facing one of life's toughest battles. Augusta Oncology is now filling that space, bringing radiation and oncology to one building so it can serve people in the CSRA. That's made possible thanks to the repeal of the Certificate of Need law, which controlled the number of healthcare resources in an area. Patients are already walking through those doors. We spoke with one woman who told us they make sure she knows she's taken care of.
There's no wondering, okay, well, how am I going to do this? You know, they are there to help you do it. And believe me, it's a lot of staff because they have to deal with all this stuff every day. And they're trying to do it in a kind and loving and gentle way, realizing that you as a person are dealing with, I have cancer.
Right now, the facility sees about 30 people per day, but they say they want that number to reach about 100. And as we said, that medical center is near the Beacon Bluff project, which leaders say is close to being finished. This is video from when we last spoke to project leaders back in March. They said their initial goal of February was slowed down by supply chain issues. A new shopping center could be coming to Evans if all goes as planned. That center will be at the site of the former First Baptist Church of Evans. The land was bought by an Ohio-based company, and the historic church was torn down a few months ago. One local business owner says she is excited for that potential development.
Augusta's growing continuously. I mean, as you drive around the city, you can see that every hole that Augusta has, we're becoming a miniature Atlanta, basically. So to see that property sitting there, and it's prime real estate.
After a meeting tonight, that area could begin to see change soon. A zoning meeting will have commissioners decide on a change to allow a drive-through at a proposed Chase Bank location there. An approval is considered to be likely, but if not, development of the shopping center would be on hold for a while. The Allendale community is mourning the loss of a high school senior who was killed days before graduation. Authorities at SLED and the Allendale Police Department, as well as the Sheriff's Office, say 17-year-old Andre Gadsden Jr. was shot and later died from his injuries. Now they're asking for your help to find the killer. Gadsden was a senior at Allendale Fairfax High School who would have graduated this week. This is a photo of him during the district's College and Career Decision Day just days ago. That's a day where they announce what their next journey will be. SLED says Gadsden was shot on Butler Street Sunday morning around 1 a.m. in Allendale. If you know anything about that case, call or email SLED. We have that information on your screen. We also have it on our website. His school bus driver posted about his death on Facebook yesterday, saying, quote, "This morning was incredibly tough, Dre, to drive past your house knowing you wouldn't be getting on, but I still had to push through with my procedure." She adds Gadsden was one of the students who rode her bus the longest, calling him an exemplary student. The school district has added increased security at the school. Again, if you have any information, call or email SLED. Anyone with information that may lead to an arrest will receive a cash reward. We now know the name of the cyclist who died in a crash on Peach Orchard Road at Willis Foreman Road yesterday morning. Richmond County officials say 42-year-old Jolene Davis died. They say Davis was biking north on Peach Orchard Road at Willis Foreman when she was hit by a car. She was pronounced dead at the scene just after 5:30. Now, this isn't the first death on Peach Orchard Road, not even this month. 3 others were killed in accidents within 4 days from May 5th to May 8th. We're still working to learn more about 2 people behind bars after a shooting and standoff with Richmond County's SWAT team. Deputies responded to Bahama Drive to find a man who said he was shot at by multiple people. Officials say the standoff with SWAT was only for a brief time before arresting those suspects. This is the 4th SWAT incident in Richmond County alone within the last month. We're working to learn more about possible charges and the extent of the victim's injuries. Some good news for those in Georgia. Georgia Public Service Commission and Georgia Power have agreed to freeze rates. This also means the proposed rate hike for this year is no longer happening. Georgia Power wants to raise rates to recover expenses from Hurricane Helene damages. The freeze agreement will be discussed in public hearings later today and voted on. Since 2022, rates increased each year, but now all 5 commissioners for Georgia Public Service pushed for this freeze. This agreement is only for base rates, so there still could be certain specialty increases if needed. We're on your side with a safety alert this morning about a boil water advisory issued for the town of Jackson, South Carolina. The boil water advisory affects more than 40 streets in the town. Officials say it's due to low water pressure from the high side well. Here are some of the streets under that boil water advisory: Ada May Loop, Apple Valley Road, Atomic Road, and Bowie Court, just to name a few. We have the full list up on our website. If you live on any of these streets, you'll have to boil your water for at least 1 full minute before drinking it or cooking with it. On your screen now are some steps you should take after the advisory has been lifted to keep you and your family safe. Flush your pipes, replace water filters and appliances, and throw out any leftover ice and make a new batch. Be sure to check our website for when that advisory is lifted. That's it for the news side of things this morning. Let's send it over now to First Alert meteorologist Tim Strong for Check It Your Weather.
All right, thank you, Nick. Here, as we look on through, as far as the timeline goes, you can see that we are. As we're set up for maybe a chance for a few storms before that process moves into a cooler and drier setup. And really, the overwhelming amount of rainfall is going to be well off to the west and northwest for today. We've got a really nice look here, kind of a little bit hazy as far as a little bit of cloud cover in play. But looking at Cabela Drive, I-20 off in the distance, it's been holding 72 degrees all morning and most of the night. We never really got below that 72 mark here in the metro. So that's where we're finding Barnwell, Allendale, Millen, most of the metro areas in the 70s. We're heating up quickly. In fact, we're going to be right on the heels of almost 90 by lunchtime. It will feel like the 90s because of the heat index, the southwest winds that will continue in our direction for today, which will bring heat and humidity and make those 90s, that 90 to 93, feel like more of the mid and upper 90s with the heat index. Isolated storm, best chance is really going to be coming in overnight into early tomorrow morning before sunrise. We're still, with the cold front moving through, expecting 90s tomorrow afternoon. Then we start the process of dropping in the 80s. It'll turn breezy. The wind shift will also help with the humidity values that are going to be a little bit more elevated again today than they will for the second half of the week. So looking at what should be around the upper 80s to about 90, stray shower or storm. Yeah, northern counties seem to be affected if we're going to see any, as well as the overnight planner. You can see that between 2 a.m. and 6:30, it's gone. And that's all we contend with as far as the rain chances go. So not really a widespread rain event expected to be in our direction. Now we see the winds shifting more to the west-northwest. That'll help kind of lower the humidity, but still expect a pretty hot forecast nonetheless, even though we will start drying out even more as far as high humidity. Upper 80s, low 90s Wednesday, Thursday. Look at Friday and Saturday. In the home stretch into that Memorial Day weekend, we're below average, 82s for Friday and Saturday. Cooler morning lows down in the mid-50s. Have a great day.